What's going on, guys? So I did a Universal Soldiers review not too long ago, and tonight I just finished streaming the Universal Soldiers 2 and 3 back to back, the TV films that were both released in 1998 and filmed basically supposed to be watched back to back kind of thing. Kind of like a two-part series, you can pretty much say that's really how they play out, to the point where even the start of Universal Soldiers 3 is basically previously on Universal Soldiers 2 kind of deal. So they're really filmed to go together. You've got Luke and Veronica returning. Now they're played by different actors and actresses. Before I forget their names, it is Matt Battaglia taking the place of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chastity West. Chastely West, nah, I'm blanking on her name too, taking the place of Veronica. And this, again, is straight off of the first one. You get your flashback of the battle that Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme were having in Universal Soldiers Part 1. And you get that flashback, and then Veronica and Luke are back with Luke's parents. And you get this really romantic scene once again where Veronica's making out with Luke, and he's in an ice bath to cool off from his overheating and whatnot. And you get it starts off being played out where obviously they have romantic interest for each other and they don't stop kissing, but like a few seconds later he gets out of the ice bath and she kind of like turns around as if she doesn't want to look at him naked, as if they're still friends or something like that. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, it was clearly established in the first film that they had massive chemistry and were definitely into each other, and now they're continuing with it, but she's still kind of trying to play off as she's distancing herself. It was really weird. I really like the introduction of Eric in this film, Luke's brother. I thought that plot was very fitting to where they wanted to take this film, and it didn't go completely bonkers and off the rails like a lot of sequels, and especially television sequels, do. This one was still kind of grounded and played off the first film enough, and the addition to Eric, I forget the actor's name, but the addition to Eric was really well done, and he was a cool character too. Like he was written decently, and I thought he brought a lot to the script and the structure of the story and everything, and added a lot to Luke and Veronica's progression. Burt Reynolds pretty much owns this film as a villain. He is ruthless. I love how he kind of recruits soldiers, the best of the best, I mean, just to kill them off in order to reprogram and reanimate them as universal soldiers, because he's kind of like whatever the Universal Company from the first film. He's kind of like the terrorist version of that. Like he wants to like revamp the whole thing, and he's working with one of the most quirky scientists that you could possibly get, and so perfect for a film like this. That's totally like TV related. This both these films wear their TV film tropes completely on their sleeve. Like 100%. Can you tell these are TV films? Absolutely. You got the cheesy dialogue, you've got the horrible acting, but I mean, I can't lie. I can't sit here and say that these films aren't fun, as bad as they are. I like the second film better than the third film. Even though they go together, the second film, like I said, was a lot more grounded and a lot more enjoyable with kind of bringing you into its world, and the believability of it was better. I totally loved the last scene in that like that dive bar or pool hall kind of thing. One thing about Luke in this one especially, the way they try to have him develop human emotions is very strange, because there's things that he should know that he doesn't, and then there's things that he doesn't know that don't make any sense that he doesn't know. Like, there's that whole scene where he's cheersing a beer with Eric, and he totally knows what twist off caps are, but then he gets totally confused on like the general's warning on the back of the beer label, and it's just, one doesn't add to the other. But I guess that's TV writing for you. It's not supposed to make sense, but those are just things that I picked up on. I'm like, for I know, like, I understand what they're going for, but it really doesn't add up. It's totally all over the place when he's trying to learn all these emotions. Like, he'll he'll just jump back and forth in knowledge. Like, at one point he'll be a dumbass, and then another point he'll, like, how does he know this but not that, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing like a B movie TV film, but who knows? Like I said, Gary Busey's the best. Did I say Burt Reynolds? I meant Gary Busey, because Burt Reynolds shows up in this movie too, but he's mainly like the guy that talks on the phone, the one that you see like the back of his head, kind of thing, kind of like James Bond style, where they don't want to reveal the villain until later on. Yeah, if I said Burt Reynolds, I apologize, because he's in this movie very briefly, but he comes in the third as the main villain. His apprentice, you could say, played by Gary Busey, is the shit. He's an awesome villain. He owns the screen. He's such a menace, really. And yeah, he's absolutely fantastic. Going back to his emotions, where with the death of Eric at the end of the second film, involving everything that he was taught by Veronica, involving his humor, like the knock knock joke and stuff. They didn't, like, they should have added a lot more of that throughout the script, throughout the film, because it kind of jumps where she kind of brushes on teaching him that style of humor, and then at the end of the film, he pretty much knows everything that she was teaching him without the audience kind of seeing it happen, kind of thing. You're just kind of left to assume. And again, budgetary restraints are going to do that, but I understand what, like, this film is just supposed to be fun, obviously, and it is. Like, it for a TV film. It's, I can't complain, especially about the second film, too much, because it's not that bad at all. It's I mean, it definitely needs some tweaking, and it definitely doesn't go as far as it can when it comes to productivity and screenwriting and all that. But it's a blast, to say the least, and all of the cast and the characters pretty much deliver in spades what they're asked to. Again, mentioning Gary Busey, one of the best, probably the best villain in the trilogy, I would say, in this one anyway. I'm obviously going to get to the rest of the films too, but until then, this is like this trilogy being first, and then the second and third TV film. The third film is okay. I found it went off the rails a little bit with the linear stories, and I like how it does have a good chunk of it taking place in Canada and Toronto. That's pretty cool. But the whole convention center being invaded by terrorists, and that one female who's a badass, to say the least, coming in. And then I love how Luke is like the busboy, and he's undercover that way. And yeah, it's an okay film. It has a lot more of that. What do you like? It has a lot more of those struggles that don't add up, kind of thing, structure wise. It's a lot more convoluted, you could say, than the second film was. But for having the two actors and actresses back playing Luke and Veronica, Veronica, her acting is a little choppy, but everybody's is for two straight to TV sequels of Universal Soldier. I mean, you can't expect any more or less than what you're given. They're cool films. They're cool films. They go really well back to back. I found it extremely cheesy to see the third one start off with like just flashbacks of the second one as if it's like another episode or something like that. But but yeah, it's cool. I was very confused in the third film when they were creating the clone of Eric because he was growing so rapidly that I was watching this and I'm like, is this flashbacks? Like, what am I supposed to be seeing right now? Is this Eric as a kid? Because Eric wasn't even involved in the war or Universal Soldiers as a child. So what's going on here? And then I started to clue in that this child that they were raising, which was looking very much like Eric, was a clone, and that made a lot of sense. And also the scientist that was working with Burt Reynolds' character in this film, he really makes a character change between two and three too, because in the second one he was extremely quirky, and then in this one he really went more serious in his personality. I didn't like it as much as the second because he was more like mad scientist like in the second one, and I liked that about him more. But he kind of carried off as this like weird over possessive father figure in the clone's life, and it was just different. But I liked. Funny enough, I liked the third act of the third film the best compared to acts one and two. I love I love where the clone of Eric, I'm just gonna call him the clone of Eric, uh, turns into the super soldier, and then he has that battle with, as cheesy as it is, that battle with Luke, and and where it goes from there. Now, good God, were they going for like a dark ending and completely ruined that ending with the biggest serving of cheese you could possibly have? Like, you can't take that ending seriously, and it's supposed to be dark because you have this clone of Eric finally recognizing Luke for the first time, really, and they have this moment, and then he discovers that he has that bomb inside of himself, and he can't be near Luke because he's gonna blow everybody up. So he runs, and it's totally like TV movie, like cheese run, and then he just, you bastard. It's just so laughable for such an intense scene that I don't know if they were trying to make it serious, but it just didn't work with the way it was directed at all. But but still pretty hilarious. They're fun films. They are really good to double feature, especially with some drinks. And they're not a waste of time. I would say, like, they're fun for the right occasion, and they work well as a follow up to a classic like Universal Soldier, a B movie classic, I should say, like Universal Soldier. So just know what you're getting into. They, like I said, they wear their TV movie tropes on their sleeve, and they're not ashamed to do so. So you're gonna get really bonkers, really cheesy, and extremely low budget straight to TV films with Universal Soldiers 2 and 3. So that's it for now, anyway. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews, and I'll be back for more real soon. So until then, take care and cheers.